Okay, so in this video, I'm going to modify what would otherwise be a rally coach exercise, and I'm going to use it as a worksheet for you to practice graphing lines from point slope form. Okay, so what I quickly want to do is make sure we remember what point slope form is. So we know point slope form is y minus y1, and we know that's equal to m parentheses x minus x1. Okay, so when I'm looking at an equation that's already given to me, I should be able to extract quickly the slope, which is directly outside the parentheses, and I should be able to put together from the x1, y1 values the equivalent of my ordered pair. So I'm going to go through this worksheet and we're going to quickly go through one problem together. I'm going to then set up a second problem for you, and then everything else I think you'll be able to work through successfully on your own. So let's get started. So we can see all our equations in point slope form, and I should be able to very easily recognize that my slope is the number directly outside the parentheses. So I already know that my slope is 2. And just for practice, let's make note of the combinations in which we can count. We can count 2 spaces up and 1 space to the right, given a positive 2 slope. Or we can count 2 spaces down and 1 space to the left as our other combination. Now, the next thing that's going to be critical in terms of being able to graph this line is extracting the equivalent of our x1, y1 that makes up our ordered pair as our starting point, extracting that information correctly. And the basic rule that I'm just going to ask you to follow is to realize that if it says minus 4, then my x1 value is the opposite of that. So it'll be positive 4. And if it says minus 3, then I know my y1 value is going to be the opposite of that, so positive 3. So this is really important. When you see the equation, your ordered pair is going to be made up of the opposite of what it says here. And so if it says minus 4, your x-coordinate is positive 4, and the opposite of what it says here. So if it says y minus 3, we know the minus 3 translates into a y-coordinate of positive 3. And from there, we're able to graph, as we've done in the past, by plotting a starting point. Since we've established it, that's my x1, y1 value. So 4 to the right, 3 up. And using my rise and run to count up and to the right, down to the left accordingly to find other points. So I can go up and to the right. I can go down and to the left, down and to the left, down and to the left, down and to the left. And I plotted as many points as I could with that slope of 2 up, 1 to the right, 2 down, 1 to the left, and I have successfully graphed my line. So finding the slope is the easy part. It's just a little bit of memory on how to find the ordered pair for x1, y1, and once you have that, you should be in your comfort zone of plotting your starting point, using your slope with rise and run to find other points, and graphing your line accordingly. So to mix things up a little bit, I'm actually going to move down to the next problem, not moving across, so that we can clearly make sure we understand how to extract this information. So one more time, I know my slope is directly outside the parentheses, okay? So I know that my slope is 3/4, which means I can go up to the right or down to the left. And here again is where I want to remember that basic rule. To find my ordered pair, I'm going to take the opposites of what I see with regards to how my x and y, my x1 and y1 values are showing up. So my x1 value is going to be the opposite of -1, which is +1. My y1 value is going to be the opposite of +4, which is -4. Because think about that. Y minus -4 is what's simplified to y plus 4. So that's your x1, y1 value. So that's your starting point. Plot your starting point. Now that we've established it correctly, count your rise and run and graph your line. Okay, so From here on out, you're going to be on your own to extract the slope and the starting point accordingly, plot your starting point, use your rise and run to find other points on the line, and graph your line. So by the time you're done, every one of these equations will have a graph line for the coordinate plane provided. So wrap that up, and we'll be ready to review this further in class tomorrow.